5, 4, 3, 2,
All right.
1.
No, we're not counting down. Anyway, hi everyone. So I'm just going to say that the kitchen has turned into Final Destination for me, and we'll fill you in on that in a second.
And now, a whole new way to watch radio. This is the Dennis George Show. Here's your host, Dennis George.
Well, hello, and welcome to the show. Thank you all for tuning in, joining in, signing in, viewing in, whatever the case may be. Mitch is in the house. Mitch, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. How are you?
Doing good. Sam is here with us. Sam!
Run.
What is up?
How you doing, Sam?
I'm delicious.
Fantastic. And Debbie is here.
Howdy, everybody.
And Denny G is here.
Yeah, cruising along and living large.
Yeah, all right. So I was talking about my kitchen has turned into an episode of Final Destination, and I was reminded by a friend of mine that Final Destination is that show where if it doesn't kill you, it comes back around again as something else and tries to kill you. So I had a little pop of grease to try to take out my eye, and then my cheek, and then I cut my finger on a can, opening it, and then something else happened in the kitchen.
Did you need stitches for your cut?
No, I didn't need stitches, but boy, did it bleed. It was on the finger, and boy, fingers bleed, man. It was
Your whole body bleeds.
right.
Shouldn't you be supervised?
Probably should be supervised. Although the salmon turned out really good. You know, I do that.
Well, that's important.
I
We
do
need
that
a segment of the show, Cooking with Dennis. All right.
Yes.
We need EMT on standby
Yes.
No.
for
Yes.
this show.
No, we have talked about cooking with Dennis, and I would kill him before we got into anything because
No, Debbie, he'd kill himself. All right.
Here's what I think.
Clearly, he's trying.
Exhibit A.
We have a friend, Trish, who is a fantastic chef. I don't even say cook, fantastic chef. But she's the
She
type of
is.
chef who takes a recipe and she will always modify it. Like, she will come up with the craziest combinations. And the way Debbie is about strict recipe following, and my haphazardness, let me finish. We'll get to that. Hang on, we'll get to that. And my haphazardness in the kitchen, I think you put Trish in there and me in there, and then Debbie there is sort of the life coach. I think it'd be a fantastic show.
So now I strictly adhere to a recipe the first time I make it.
Yeah.
If it's
Absolutely.
something that I'm completely unfamiliar with, some new recipe I'm doing, I will stick to it because I want to get the feel for the recipe first. But once I have made it, if I make it again, then I can tweak if I feel like it needs tweaking or if I feel like
but I feel like my point was I feel like Trish takes off ramps. Like they're in her
Trish is an off ramp in life.
right.
That's true.
So what I was saying is
apologize to Trish.
right, what I was saying is
Absolutely.
she can put hash browns in anything and make it turn out. Like it doesn't matter the recipe. She's like, let's put hash browns in that. Like it works. I don't know how she
Fruit
does
salad, hash browns.
it. Right, exactly. Yeah. There's a couple other ingredients that she always puts in stuff that it's just like her go-to out of the cabinet. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So this week was Final Destination kitchen cooking. Yeah. This
is why I have told you are not allowed to clean your oven without supervision. We've already talked about this multiple times.
Mhm.
Actually, and I should take good advice from Debbie. She said, "Hey, let's go to Costco." So this week, Debbie allowed me. I'm going to word this right. Debbie allowed me to join her in a trip to Costco. Now, for those
We're going to apologize to Costco.
those of you that don't know, might want to apologize to all the employees there too. So anyway, those of you that don't know, Costco is like this big warehouse store that's like Sam's, which has got, here's a good example. I only wanted 6 muffins, but at the register, they're like, sir, in order to get this price, you have to buy 12 muffins.
No. That was not what they said.
What did they say?
What they said was it's a buy one, get one offer. So you may as well go ahead and get 6 more muffins
Yeah.
because it's a buy one get one offer. So you would have paid the same price for 6, but you could have gotten 12.
Yeah.
They were just looking out for you.
Clearly, you were overstimulated because you
Yes.
couldn't even listen and understand the words that you were being told.
It was crazy. Now I had 3 things on my list, and Debbie, how many did I come out with?
The whole card, I'm guessing.
Way more than 3, but we also couldn't find one of the things that you wanted.
So
Right.
Debbie, I've learned never to take Dennis shopping. All right.
Hey.
I went to a furniture store with Dennis and my mother once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Right.
no. Oh no.
In front of the sales associate and a little kid, I might mind at you. Dennis finds this pink bed, grabs the headboard, starts shaking it, looks at my mother, and says, "Honey, you think this will hold up?"
It's true. The salesman was just
We're going to go ahead and apologize to Mitch's mom
And that little girl.
and the little boy or girl. Okay.
It was fine. Anyway, so here's the thing about Costco: big containers of food. So I normally get like salmon locks for my bagels in the morning, and I get like an 8-ounce container, or sleeve or whatever of it. It's like $11 at Costco. $9, and they give you like 4 pounds. So it's like
It was not
Big
$9.
box store.
It was not $9.
They give you the whole salmon.
whatever it was fantastic.
What was your total bill, Dennis?
I don't know. Debbie wouldn't let me see it.
I can tell.
I
can
just
tell you
handed her.
what.
I just handed her a bunch of cash. I don't know.
Our total bill was a little bit under $300 because I was also shopping.
Oh, it's not
for-
bad.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Not
think it was
Costco.
horrible.
Oh no, wait a minute. I was very, very restrained. It would be the right word.
That was restrained, Debbie.
It's not restrained.
Remember, that was restrained.
It
Oh,
was.
we're going again.
Debbie was like, yeah. In fact, after we went around the store once, I'm like, can we go again? Can we go again?
No, I loved it because he said we got to one point. He said, I got to go back to the bakery department. I got to get those muffins. I said, okay. So he goes back to the
That's
bakery
dangerous
department.
because then you're having to walk back through the store to
Yes.
see other items.
But the best part was when he came back, I saw him walk in the dairy section, and in my head, oh no, you went to get bagels. He went back to get bagels, and it hit me as he's walking through the dairy section. He's looking for cream cheese, but the cream cheese, if they have it, isn't in there. It'll be over in this other section. So I stood there and I watched him walk in. I watched him come out, and I said, "Are you looking for cream cheese?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, be in there. It'll be over here."
Oh, I would have let him keep looking for like 5 minutes.
It's a good thing I didn't find it because I would have had to buy a 5-gallon tub of it. I mean, everything was massive portions.
Yeah,
It was
which is great if you like I bought some steaks, and I can individually wrap them, put them in the freezer, and then pull them out one at a time. That's the reason that I like it. Plus, they have some bag salads that I love, and I eat on for 3 to 4
and
days.
the prices are really good. I'm not gonna lie though. I was a bit overstimulated. This is the first. I'm not lying. This is the first retail store I've been in probably a year. So it was a little bit. It was a lot. There was a lot going on, and when I first got in the store, Debbie's like, "What?" I'm like, there's stuff everywhere. Look, they got TVs. Oh my god! I mean, it was just like,
Imagine the bill if it wasn't this time.
oh, I held back. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to put in the cart. So,
Well, I will
wouldn't let me
say
get a flatbed.
I knew he was overstimulated because a couple days later we were on the phone and we were talking, and he said something to me, and I said, "Do you not remember me telling you that in the parking lot before you left?" And he said, "No." And I said, "I specifically said that to you so that you would not whatever or do whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing was a blur. Yeah, it's true. It's
I
was
get
a good
$148 back from Costco this month.
really.
Ooh. Do
They
you have
do
the membership?
rebates?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the membership that pays you back.
Oh,
Cool.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just can't even imagine how much you had to spend to get that much back.
Fair amount. We do a lot of bulk buying there,
Yeah.
Paper
Well,
products.
that's the way to
things
do
like
it.
that.
Absolutely.
Tires.
Toilet paper. Yeah. Oh, you get your tires from there?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They have a big tire center.
yeah.
Nice.
It was
Yeah,
a good
it was
trip.
nice.
We had a good time. Hey, have you all seen this where apparently Hasbro is dropping the Mr. from Potato Head
Yes.
and the Mrs. from Potato Head.
Oh, God.
Apparently they want the toy to be pronoun neutral, as not to, I guess, influence people. Now, here's the question for you. Listen. I'm all for proper pronoun. Let me just really be clear. So just don't write the emails. just no need. I get it. Okay. I'm checking myself at the door here. What I will say though is, I had a GI Joe. I'm sorry. I did have a GI Joe. We'll get to that in a minute. I had a Mr. Potato Head, and I don't remember my Mr. First off, all the parts are interchangeable. So if you want to make your Mr. Potato Head, dress it up or her up or he up or him up or they up like a they or them or he or she or they, whatever, you can do
Right.
that. It's all interchangeable parts. And my Mr. Potato Head that I got did not have a penis. I'm throwing that out there. I looked and there was nothing there. So it was just a big spud. Like there was
But did you have the vagina?
no, there's no vajayjay either.
Okay.
I'm just
Was that
saying.
checking.
detachable?
What?
Was that a detachable part that you just didn't order?
No, because there's no hole there to attach it. Miss Potato Head has strategic holes for you to put the parts. Like they get a little.
What?
Well,
So-
fine. I'll come over with a drill and we can fix that. Order one.
I like where this is going.
You can even pick your size.
So I don't think they need to worry about that. The other thing I will tell you about, I like that, Sam. The other thing I'll tell you about is, like, my parents gave me a GI Joe. Okay, now we were ripped off as kids because the GI Joe was not atomically correct. When you took his pants down, there was nothing there.
It's plastic.
Well, we'll get back to.
He was wearing a cup.
We'll talk to Margo in a minute.
I
Here's
was about to
the
say,
thing.
Yuri, is that you?
When you get the Barbie, she's got breasts. I think it's completely it's a setup to be.
But she doesn't have a nipple.
She doesn't have nipples.
She should though.
Well, you know, GI
So you
Joe
can milk
actually-
her.
They actually
Because how else do you milk her?
Right. What, Denny G?
so they actually started making female military plastic pieces.
Did they fix the bottom half of the male?
No, they fixed the whole thing. They changed it. Some. There was a young woman who wrote in to them and said, "Hey, there's no female soldiers," and they
Yeah.
started making them.
They accommodated. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the little
That's
plastic.
very nice.
I read an article about that too. You're right. What, Debbie?
Dennis, why were you looking for anatomically correct parts? I mean, what
Well, I
does
think-
that matter?
Didn't we all do that? Didn't we all want to like?
No, we did
No.
not all do that.
Oh,
We did
my
not.
bad.
I played with Lincoln Logs.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Dennis, I looked.
Fine.
All right. There are two types of people in this world.
You know,
Those who look and those who lie about it.
that's right. Thank you, Mitch, for not leaving me out there alone in the desert and joining me in my psychosis. Whatever. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, I think that. So I read online. So the company that owns Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head dropping pronouns is Hasbro. So the running joke on internet now is
We're definitely apologizing to Hasbro.
is Hasbro going to change their name to Has Sibling? Isn't Hasbro.
I can't with you. I
Stupid.
can't with you.
Has what?
Well, the company
Debbie.
name is Hasbro.
Bro.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah, right, bro.
So bro is not
Bro.
noun sensitive, so it should be Has Sibling.
Hey, Debbie.
That's time
cheers.
to drink.
Cheers, Debbie.
I
I
think
already cracked
I'm
it
with
open,
you.
All
I
right.
think we should launch a petition. And the petition is that we insist that Hasbro change their name because it's not sensitive.
I am
Hold
not
on.
starting, nor am I supporting this petition. Just
I'm with you,
shut up.
Debbie.
Ugh.
I'm with
Not
you.
doing it. Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, the other thing is that, like in Toy Story, there's a ton of stuff in there that's completely wrong. Like I was reading this article about the whole Mr. Potato Head, and they were going on and on about different examples. And the tow truck is supposed to be a female with the hook hanging off the end of it, and she's a hooker. That's the joke. Like that's the whole joke of the in the so
That's
the,
a stretch.
why I know, but I'm telling you, the animators played around with things like that we're now starting to realize. And so, just like with the Muppets now, Disney's putting a warning on some of the Muppet additions, so, warning people that some content might be offensive.
What?
Don't know what to say.
What?
You're spending your time reading way too much stuff.
What?
Just,
We're gonna apologize to Disney,
The
It's fine.
Muppets.
the Muppets,
it's fine. It's
Toy
fine.
Story.
It's fine.
Toy Story.
So
Hookers.
ahead. Now, of course, the Idaho was big in potatoes. They're not particularly happy with the change in the Spud's gender. So they're, of course, speaking out as well. Do you all think that Mr. Potato Head should be changed to just Potato Head?
I think it's made of plastic, and I don't even know why we're having this conversation.
Right. I don't
I think
care.
there are bigger fights to fight right now. All right, once we get those solved, yeah, sure. Let's argue about Mr. Potato Head. Let's argue about Hasbro.
Right. Right.
Because that's a good day when we're arguing about the name of Potato Head and Hasbro. All right, that's a
Right.
great day.
Right.
That should mean that we're no longer worried about
But we have more important
Basic
things right
human
now,
rights
like
for all
human
pandemic.
rights.
Right. That's true. On another note, this week we want to shout out to the folks at Spotify, which is the parent company of our distributor, which is Anchor. Big thanks to them because they're coming on board as a sponsor of our show, which is fantastic. So in the next,
Oh, that's awesome.
the next break, you're going to hear a little bit of a promotion for them. Also coming up in the show, Weird People. We're going to have an update on Margo and Yuri. That's Margo the sex doll who Yuri married. We're going to have a whole update on that.
Plastic.
I know. Then after that, we got Debbie's top 10 list, which is the most popular websites. And later, we go through your listener email.
Woohoo.
So it's going to be a crazy show. So stick around. We will be right back.
New way to watch radio. The Dennis George Show continues after this.
Hey everyone, I just want to talk to you real quick about something I've been working on lately. It's called the Michelle Obama Podcast. I can't wait for you to listen. In this first season, I'm going to be talking with some of the people I'm closest with. My mom, my brother, my friends, my colleagues, and many others. We'll be discussing the relationships that make us who we are. We'll be talking about the challenges and the joys of being a parent or a spouse, the friendships that help us through the toughest times, or the growth we experience when we lean on the colleagues and mentors around us. What I love about these conversations is that they're topics and issues that we're all dealing with no matter what's going on. Whether that's a global pandemic or a nationwide reckoning with race. My hope is that this podcast can be a place for us to sort through the questions that we're all trying to answer, a place to open up and be a little vulnerable and have some fun along the way. And most importantly, I hope this podcast sparks ideas and topics that you can open up with within your own circles. Maybe it'll inspire you to have some conversations with loved ones that you've been meaning to have. So I hope you'll join me for the Michelle Obama Podcast. Episodes start July 29th. Listen for free only on Spotify.
The views expressed on Dennis George Show
Are not our own or anyone else's.
Listen at your own risk, and we cannot be held responsible for your ears burning, bleeding, or ringing, or the blurred eyesight.
some things you will not be able to unhear or unsee, and for that,
You are warned.
Do not try anything we suggest or talk about at home, work, or in your car.
A reminder, there are no rules, and our show is intended for mature audience only.
or at a minimum,
Those over your state's or country's legal age of consent.
Any experiments
Jobs, skills, or sexual positions suggested
and or recommended
are for comedy purposes only and should not be tried without supervision.
or a spotter.
safety word or phrase,
Is recommended in advance of trying anything
Any
new.
medical advice
or comments that seem like medical advice,
should be reviewed with your own doctor.
or at least.
Check it on Google like we did.
Thank you and good luck.
Now, back to our show. Here's Dennis George.
Lots of weird people out there doing weird things. Anchorage, Alaska. An Alaskan woman had the scare of her lifetime when using an outhouse in the backcountry. She was attacked by a bear from down below. She said, quote, "I got out there and sat down on the toilet and immediately something bit my butt as I sat down." Sharon Stevens told the Associated Press on Thursday, quote, "I jumped up and I screamed when it happened. Her brother heard the screaming and went out to the outhouse about 150 feet away from the yurt. Had to look up what a yurt was. Y-U-R-T. It's kind of like some sort of a hut thing. I don't know why they can't just say hut or house. Anyway, this is Alaska we're talking about. They're all weird up there. There he found Shannon tending to her wound. So I should apologize to them.
Alaska.
She had been bitten by a squirrel or mink or something small, but no, it was a bear. She was up there with her brother Eric and his girlfriend. And the Associated Press said they had taken out snowmobiles into the wilderness to stay at his yurt, located 20 miles northwest of Haines in southeast Alaska. By the way, snowmobiles in Alaska are called snow machines. I learned that as well. Of course, I learned that from Sarah Palin. Anyway, so that's what happened in Alaska.
I just want to state for the record, you probably should not take that to heart since you heard it from Sarah Palin.
Correct.
Probably.
I was about to stop us before we ended up apologizing to Sarah Palin.
I'm in charge of this list. That ain't happening.
And do you think possibly yurt is an Eskimo name and they're native there?
You should probably apologize to the Eskimos.
I think you should. Yeah, why can't they speak our stuff?
Here's my thing about that, right? The bear was probably hibernating. All right, how would you feel if you were sleeping and somebody took a shit on you? I would be pissed.
How did she not
she was
figure this
pissed
out
too.
before she sat down?
Yeah. I mean, aren't you supposed to look in there before you sit down into things like that?
No.
I typically do because I'm worried about a snake coming up and biting me.
Great. Now Dennis is never going to sit down and use the toilet
Right.
again.
Right, that's it.
You're a thing for me always.
I'm already scared of centipedes. It's bad enough.
Well, they did actually, and I want to say it was in India, but don't hold me that because I can't remember. There was a boa constrictor that came up through the pipe.
Yes.
And
Yes,
bit
it is a
the
thing.
man
Yeah.
and would not let go. Yeah, they had to call the emergency people and everything.
I get very worried whenever it's nighttime
and it wasn't.
and I have to go.
It was a big one. But
Yeah.
Oh, this is very troubling news. Very.
You look like a tail.
It's a phobia.
Dennis, let's be honest. You're never going camping anyway, so you're going to be fine.
true.
You'll be fine.
True.
I've been camping before.
You got an
You've been
RV.
glamping.
Right, I take the RV.
Glamping. Yeah.
You've been glamping,
no,
not
it doesn't
camping.
count.
That's called glamping.
All right, fine. Around the world, let's talk about Margo and Yuri. We're going to give you a little context for those of you who haven't been following the story of Margo and Yuri. We're going to go ahead and give you a little quick synopsis here, and then we'll get into
Yeah, I agree, Mitch.
Around the world, people have been experimenting with different objects for pleasure, but bodybuilder from Kyrgyzstan by the name of Yuri Tokido went a step further and officially married a sex doll named Margo in November last year.
Doll.
After dating, did I say doll?
Doll. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Married a sex doll named
It's
Margo.
a doll, not a human.
Right, in November last year after dating for nearly 2 years. However, just weeks after the marriage and around Christmas, Margo broke down and was sent for repair. But that didn't stop her husband, Yuri, to explore further and led him to cheat on his wife, according to... So I'm going to try to get through this.
Just don't look at me and you'll be fine. Just don't look.
Good point.
Right.
According to newspaper accounts and angered friends of Margo, while Margo was being...
Wait, angered friends of Margo. Is that like Mr. Potato Head who put on his angry eyes?
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry, Potato Head who put on their angry eyes?
Yes, while Margo was being unloaded, he met another sex doll by the name of Lola and is planning to marry her next. The doll is supposedly shaped like a giant chicken and has both male and female genitals. Last week, Yuri uploaded a video of himself stroking and attaining pleasure by tearing the chicken. This experience made him realize that he wants to have a toy like that and take care of it, he told Vice magazine this week. Last week, Yuri also started his own OnlyFans site and is posting videos of his encounters.
Of course he is.
The first being footage of himself covered in sweetened condensed milk. For his future plans, let me get through this. For his future plans, Yuri has mentioned that he wants to now marry multiple sex dolls, as having multiple wives, as fine as in, which
What are they going to call that? Sister chicken wives?
Good, which is fine in Eastern
Jesus
cultures.
Christ.
However, he has vowed to respect his wife Margo and will always take care of her. In an Instagram post, Yuri is attempting to reassure his followers that, quote, Margo is getting better and will be home soon. Friends, however, aren't so sure and are quite suspicious of exactly where Margo is at this time. According to Margo's friends, trouble began just after the wedding when Margo's Instagram account became more popular than Yuri's. Friends say that Yuri shut down her account in a fit of jealous rage. He says Margo didn't mind and didn't like the added attention. Margo friends don't agree, including the manager at the club where Margo worked as a hostess. That's where Yuri and Margo met. Quote,
How can she be a hostess?
hang on,
How?
hang on, Sam. We're gonna get to all this. We have a
Yeah,
lot.
but it's so much.
We have a lot
It's
to
so
unpack.
much. We need to break this down.
Hang on, we have a lot to unpack. Let me finish. In a direct quote, by the way, that I received from the manager of the club, he says, quote, can't make this shit up. He says, quote, okay. I know he's listening, so I apologize. I'm not laughing at you.
You laughed. You're just
down the bottle.
Okay, let me just get through this. The manager, this is, of course, the manager of Margo, his work. By the way, Margo is working there for 3 years. Quote, okay, just going to try. Okay.
I can read it if you need me to.
Quote, okay, yeah, Debbie, please read it. I can't do it.
The quote reads, Margo was a gentle woman, and Yuri has turned her into some kind of freak show, and now she's missing. We're all very concerned for her safety.
Yeah, authorities won't comment on the case other than to say there's an ongoing investigation.
Of a doll. Plastic. They had a blowout because he's too rough. Oh.
So let's talk about all this.
There's a lot.
There's a
Sounds
lot.
like a money-making scheme to me.
Does Yuri
Get a lot of
live in
followers.
Utah?
You know?
Has Yuri what?
Does Yuri live in Utah?
No. Oh,
No,
my
he's
God.
He should.
Gonna have to apologize to
I
that
think you can have as many plastic dolls as you want for wives.
in Utah. Specifically in Utah, that's allowed. So now this is important to point out. The manager is very concerned. He's concerned. He's concerned for her.
Why? Why is he concerned? It's a doll.
He says he
Has
wants.
he been paying her a good living wage?
He wants his
Has
host.
he been paying her?
He wants his hostess back. He said she did a great job. She greeted guests. I mean, she did a really good job for the club.
She can't.
She didn't
She can't.
She did not greet guests. She sat. She was plastic. She was
Right.
just there. There was no greeting happening.
Right. If we're gonna call her an employee, she better be getting a good living wage.
Yeah,
Better have a
Maybe she had a
401k.
voice box.
yeah, maybe.
Have a-
Are we sure that when he says hostess, he's not meaning the cupcake?
Right.
Because if I walked into a restaurant and I was greeted by a hostess cupcake, I'd be excited.
Now, this thing, I will say to you, when we started it's fair to say we've been covering this for some time. When we started covering this, it was it's almost been 2
The
months.
beginning of the season.
Well, they got married in December.
But we covered it
Right.
like right on the beginning, and it was tough to find initial information. Like I found one story about it, and now if you Google Yuri and Margo, I'm not kidding. There's like 10,000 stories. Like it has become this worldwide phenomenon, and I'm proud to say we have been supporters of Margo from the very beginning. We have been there for her. I'm just saying.
Are we like in a
What the hell are
super
you
secret
talking
club,
about?
Friends of Margo?
You mean you are a supporter?
I like Mitch's idea. We're going to start a fan club for Margo. Friends of Margo. No. Hashtag, where is she?
Where's Margo?
Where's Margo?
Where in the world is Marco?
Or rescue Margo. Hashtag rescue Margo.
So, okay, Sam, I have to go back to your question about what's the show going to be called. And what was it? Sister, what did you say?
Sister Chicken Wives.
I think it should be called Sister Hens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sister Hens. Yeah, there's so much for me to say. I can't even get it all out because there's so many thoughts in my head. This is
Yeah.
nuts. This is absolutely nuts. Who are the friends of Margo? She's a sex doll.
We are the friends of Margo.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, you remember Lars and a real girl.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But the problem there's so much more.
Debbie just can't.
Yeah.
Because nobody is helping Yuri get past this, and that's the problem.
Right.
That's the
Right.
big problem.
Can
Right.
we interview one of the friends of Margo that's not on this show already?
Everyone's feeding into the psychosis of it.
But isn't that just because we've all seen Lars and the Real Girl, where you're supposed to feed into it? Isn't that what they're supposed to do on the show?
It's true. Have you finally watched it, Mitch?
No.
Oh,
I haven't either.
so disappointing, the two of you.
It's a good movie. I highly recommend it. It's good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Well, I'll tell you what, we have invited Margo to be on the show, and we'll continue to extend that.
She's missing, Dennis.
She's missing,
She's
yeah,
missing.
I don't want Margo. I want a friend of Margo.
Yeah,
Look, if you want to have her on the show, I'll order one and she can be on the show next week. Like, we don't even know what she looks like.
oh no,
No,
we got
we do.
we have photos.
Oh, we did. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did. I apologize.
That's right. We need
Does
to
she
just
have a
order a
passport?
duplicate of Margo.
We should have a what, Denny G?
Passport? Does she have a passport?
I don't know. I haven't asked. That's good. Well, she's traveled, so I assume so.
She can go in
Clearly.
a freaking suitcase.
Wait,
She
yeah,
fits in the carry-on
right.
in the carry-on
She
bin.
can fit in a box and go on FedEx.
That's cruel.
We could actually ship her around and we all could get to play with her.
She could be like the next Flat Stanley craze.
She really is going to be like the Village Bicycle, isn't she?
Yeah, everybody's gonna.
Who gets to ride Margo this week?
Oh, good God.
Yuri'd be
No, but
unhappy.
seriously,
Yeah, we'd figure out where Yuri is because he'd be after us.
I think the most astonishing thing about all this is that the authorities have actually opened up a
Plastic.
case about this. Like they're
Why?
actually
That's wasting money.
they're actually investigating where's Margo. I mean,
Where's the doll? Where's the plastic?
Dennis, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Let's order a duplicate and then hold her up for ransom.
yeah, I think we get in trouble at this point.
Why? She's plastic. We've already decided sex dolls aren't real.
We should probably apologize to Margo because she's clearly not plastic, but she's plastic.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just had to.
There are a lot of people though who are very engaged in this. So I know we're
Yeah.
I know we're making
Clearly the police are.
I know we're making this. Well, and the manager, he seemed in his email that, I mean, he said she's a gentle woman and Yuri is
He
turned.
wants his cupcakes.
They're all very
She's gentle because she doesn't talk.
See, Dennis, does a manager, can you ask the manager if you're contacting him to get us a picture of her at the hostess station early on?
I have one. actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, do you have anything?
You
do?
do?
You have
I do have a
pictures of the inside of their place?
I have a picture of her at the hostess stand at the club. We actually
I would like to see
Where
that.
are we posting that? Are we posting that on Facebook so people can see it?
will post on Facebook and I'll send it out
Okay.
by email. Yes, we actually saw that the first week.
So what kind of club is this?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think
It's probably a sex doll club. They are very busy.
I do believe that
Lots of drinking.
I do believe it's a fetish club, but I'm not sure. Because I had asked a friend of mine, because it said BDSM club or something. I had asked someone what that was.
We'll apologize to fetish clubs.
So
Wait, can we stop there for a minute?
yeah,
Mitch, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it.
don't do it, bitch.
Are we going to end up apologizing to BDSM practitioners?
Yes, Mitch, did you have something to add? Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's the Margo and Yuri deal. And so apparently Margo is still missing. That's a concern. And Yuri has moved on and is actually, he's trying to find a way to monetize all of
That was a very big blowout if she's still in repair.
I agree. That's what's suspicious about it. I mean, and
Well, he is very violent. She might have been in a lot of pieces.
the manager of the club is wants Margo back to come back to work.
Well,
So
I think it also depends on where the blowout occurred. It's like a tire. If you hit the sidewall, you can't repair it. If you
Well, you're
puncture-
thinking this is an inflatable, but it might not be. It might be
She
gel.
might need to see a plastic surgeon.
Yes, right.
She has had plastic surgery work. Remember, he sent her out early on to have some adjustments made. That was one of our first stories was that he had actually paid for some surgical enhancements.
She might not look good anymore if she's been in so many pieces to get all that put back together, though. She might have a line across her face.
We shared their wedding video early on. I mean, she looks good in the wedding.
But she's had a blowout since then. She might look like Picasso.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A Monet. She might only look pretty from far.
I do want to get her on the show. I'm just saying. I do want her on the show for sure.
Debbie can't anymore.
I need more to drink. I can't.
That's Margo and Yuri. We'll keep you updated, and of course, throughout the week if we get updates. And by the way, our Facebook has been trending. Maybe that's why people are going to look for the Yuri updates. I'm not sure. Anyway, after the break, Debbie's going to tell us her top 10 list. These are the most popular website. They're not necessarily her list. This is statistically the most popular websites, and we're going to talk about this.
Don't worry, I already added Debbie to the apology list.
Okay, we're just going to keep her on there. We'll be right back.
Find us online at Pornhub. Sorry, wrong site. Find us online at DennisGeorgeShow.com.
Hey there, catch us 24/7 on social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Good Pods. On Alexa and Google Assist, say, play Dennis George Show podcast.
If you have a question or comment, send us an email at podcast@DennisGeorgeShow.com. Or if you're just looking for a date. If we read your question or comment on the show, we'll send you a Dennis George Show t-shirt. That's podcast@DennisGeorgeShow.com. Now back to the show.
And we're back. Some of these are surprising to me, Debbie. Top 10 list, Debbie. Let's talk about it. What do you got?
So it's top subscription apps for 2020 by U.S. consumer spending.
And you're going to go in reverse order and give us number 10 first, right?
I am, and I'm actually going to start.
Apps on your phone. Okay.
Apps. Well, apps on anything because it can be on any product.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
They're also saying now that by and large, the largest way that people get online now is with their smartphone. So it's with their apps using their phone or their iPad. Something like 70%. I mean, it's a huge number.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to start because there are 3 sections to this top 10 list. And I'm going to start at the Google Play revenue and then end with the overall. So in the Google Play revenue list, number 10 is the Stars app.
That's like the streaming service for movies.
Yeah, the
Star shows,
movie channels.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no surprise.
And I love it. I have a particular type of subscription for my TV, and I love it when I get the free Stars apps because I'm recording all weekend. I'm like, I haven't seen that movie. Let's record that one. So
you don't
have some good movies.
You don't watch it on your phone though, do you?
Oh no. Because when I get the free stuff, it's via my TV provider.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So number 9.
How expensive is that?
What? The Stars
app?
I don't know. I've never looked into it separately to know how much that subscription costs. Number 9 is Bumble.
That's the dating app, right?
I don't know. I won't lie. I don't know what
it's a dating app. Actually, they just went public last week as well. It's a dating app. The woman who created it was one of the creators of, I think, eHarmony. And her biggest complaint was that she felt that eHarmony catered more towards men than it did towards women in their questions. And so she wanted to start a new service that catered more towards women and what women might ask and look for in finding a partner. So she created Bumble. Now, it's not a lesbian site. I'm not suggesting that. It is or it isn't. I'm not saying one way or the other. What I'm saying is that she created a site that she felt was more friendly towards women looking for love. And in fact, I love how I have to try to be politically correct. Like I'm going through the land.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if I needed to add lesbians to this list yet or not.
I think we're in the clear.
But I think you did a good job of balancing that.
Thank you. So anyway, so she created this and it's become incredibly popular because it's not so harsh, it's not so brash in its approach.
I love that you know that much about that.
The
It's
reason
his
Are
sensitive
you on
side.
that site?
CNBC did a whole thing because it just went public. So she became
Oh,
a billionaire on Monday when they went public, and they had an interview with her, and they asked her. They said, "Why would people want Bumble?" And she went into a whole detail about it. I thought this is pretty good. This is someone who found a niche that was needed and addressed it, and because of that, she's got a service that people like.
so is she still single?
No, in fact, she's not, but she's incredibly wealthy.
Oh,
And that has to do with her being single because you think
well, I just figured from the experience, that she was trying to figure out a way that people could connect from the female aspect, and that's how she created the company. So,
yeah, no, that diss was not to you, Sam. It was totally
Oh.
for Dennis.
oh,
Let me tell you how I got there.
sorry.
How I got there was when you asked if she's single was, I thought about they showed pictures during the interview, and one of the pictures was her on a yacht, and next to her in the picture was her husband. So when you asked me that question, that picture
Gotcha.
flagged in my head, and I thought about the yachts, which made me say she's wealthy.
Because Dennis has an obsession with boats.
With yachts.
Just so everybody knows.
True.
It's true.
Since he kind of hinted at it.
It's true.
But I mean, I'm happy for that woman. She found a niche and she filled that hole.
Number 8.
Oh,
Number
wow.
8 is Meet Me.
Meet me.
Meet Me.
What's that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Meet me. It sounds like a hookup one.
Yeah, it sounds very grinder-ish.
Wait, but is it spelled MEAT?
No. MEET, no space.
Okay.
If it were meat, as in
Well, I was gonna say if it's MEAT, then we know Mitch would use it. So I just wasn't sure.
number 7 is Facebook. Number 6.
Dennis, I don't do proportional response.
I know I'm in trouble now.
Add me to the apology list.
Right.
Just wait for it.
All right.
Just wait for it. Number 6 is ESPN. Number
Yeah.
5. Yeah. Number 5 is HBO Max.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Twitch. Number 3 is Pandora. Number 2 is Disney Plus, and number 1 is Google One.
And these are all Google Play ones.
That was Google Play revenue list. So the App Store revenue list is number 10 is Amazon Music.
Yeah.
9 is ESPN.
Mm.
8 is YouTube Music. 7 is HBO Max. 6 is Hulu. 5 is Bumble. 4 is Pandora. 3 is Disney Plus. 2 is Tinder, and number 1 is YouTube.
Okay.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Right.
It's
I'm
good
surprised
stuff, right, Dennis?
Grindr hasn't hit
Right.
any of these yet.
Right.
So the overall revenue list.
Now this is the list I'm most interested in because this is a combination of everything.
See, and that's why I went the opposite
This
way
is
of the way the list was.
This is where I think we'll get lots of chats. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's number 10 overall
Number 10 is ESPN.
for sports and stuff? Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out, Captain Obvious.
Well, I pointed that out more for
Just in case you live under a rock.
that was more for me than anyone else. I'm just gonna say.
Well, I just want to state for the record that I played volleyball with a guy who at one point told me when I was playing and I would make some plays, I would dive for the ball. He would say, "You're like an ESPN highlight reel." So every time I'd hit the floor, he'd go, "Da-da-da, da-da-da." Yeah, it was a good time. Those were fun days. Number 9 is Hulu.
Streaming for TV. Yeah.
Number 8 is HBO Max.
Okay.
What's that, Dennis?
I hate you.
May I say that some of their original programming is super good. I haven't watched all of it, but I do have HBO Max.
Mhm.
This is really
They're
stepped
really
it up. They've really stepped it up in the last year, buying a lot of first run content. Yeah.
Well, I will say that their documentaries are top notch. The ones that I've watched have been amazing. So,
Yeah.
7 is Bumble.
Yep.
Oh, you go, girl.
Yep.
Number 6 is Twitch. Now, I didn't pause before because I don't know what Twitch is. What is it?
Okay.
I think
So what Twitch is
dating or-
is I actually use it. If you've got it's really for gamers. A lot of it, like if you have if games are releasing new content, sometimes they'll put a stream out there on Twitch. If there's the ability to modify the game by putting add-ons onto the game, you can download them from Twitch. If there's forums for people to discuss, what they're doing in the game, if they have a difficult part or if they have a question, you go to Twitch.
You can even go on there and watch people play the video game
Yeah.
and learn, like if you're having trouble with different areas, they can help you with that.
Yeah. They have competitions on Twitch with the games.
In that regard, it has astonished me how many people actually do watch people play games. Like YouTube is big in that, Facebook is big in that. Obviously,
I'm dumbfounded by it. I'm like,
they just
Wouldn't you rather play the game?
I know.
millions.
I get it.
Millions.
You'd rather
people
be
love it.
outside.
Yeah.
I
don't
have a
understand.
friend. I have a friend whose daughter actually does that, and she's popular enough that she's making money with it.
Sure.
And I actually got to talk to her a few weeks ago. First of all, she's just a super neat chick. But there aren't a lot of gamer chicks out there, and so the fact that
Right.
she's doing this is very
Right.
very popular, very big. And she said that the people that follow her are almost like their own little community. So they've sort of found their niche, and they found each other, and they chat. And so it's not
That's
just all
cool.
about them watching her, it's about them
Right.
interacting with each other as well. And they're not all in the same location either. So it's not like they could, meet up at a coffee shop or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't they
And I
even rent out like stadiums and such, and they actually put it up on the screens to watch people play the game?
Because the people who watch this, I don't understand it, but they're very fanatical actually about it. Some of them can be.
Yeah.
And actually I would say a larger portion than normal are kind of fanatical, and they really get into it. And like, if you're following somebody, it's it's like an army.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So number 5 is Google One. Number 4 is Pandora.
That's like Pandora music. Although I want to point something out about that. So I have a friend of mine who has shared what I don't know where Mitch went, but a
You
friend of
told everybody what Pandora is.
Mitch is down. Mitch is down.
Pandora is a music service. But here's
Yes.
the thing I want to talk about. So someone shared with me their account so I can listen to it on my Alexa. But every morning I can tell when this person starts using it, because I get a notice that says only one device can stream this. Return to your Pandora account.
Says one person can only stream it, listen at a time.
Right, exactly. Right.
Never cross the streams.
Well, thanks for sharing that you're illegally doing things. Dennis. Thanks for sharing that.
You're
All right. Number 3 is Tinder.
That's the dating thing, right?
Well, my understanding is it's not really.
I don't think it's dating.
Yeah, right. If you call it dating, no.
Oh, it's a hookup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 is Disney Plus.
Yep.
Number 1 is YouTube.
You watch Disney Plus?
I got it. I think it's terrible. I'm gonna remove it.
Yeah, I have access to it, but I haven't watched
They
it.
have some good stuff.
Do they?
Yeah. They even have shows.
Why bad, Mitch? I want to know. I need more details because I've been thinking about getting it.
I
haven't been able
It's
to
the only place you can get all the Disney movies.
I'm a little old for Disney.
You're never too old for Disney, Mitchell.
Oh, come on.
Right.
I'm too old for Disney.
Never.
I mean, I've got all the MCU movies that I want. I've got all the Disney movies that I want.
And Debbie, number 1 overall was YouTube, which
number 1 is YouTube.
doesn't
no
surprise
shock.
me. Yeah, in fact, we're on YouTube and it continues to grow. So thank you to our YouTubers. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like it for sure. Well, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
Do you have a favorite app, Debbie, that you use, and what is it? What do you open most on your phone as an app? Would you
Probably Facebook. I'm a really good Facebook stalker in the fact that I really don't post a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of people and I will comment occasionally.
You're a lawyer.
Probably no, I'm not a lawyer. But I probably Facebook would be the one that I.
He called you a voyeur, not a
voyeur. Oh, voyeur.
V. Spell with a V.
Yeah. Mitch, what?
Don't do that again, Denny G. Don't do that again.
Mitch, what would be the app that you open the most on your phone? Would you say?
Really? It's probably Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Sam,
maybe
what,
YouTube.
YouTube. Sam, what app would you say you open most on your phone?
Clash Royale.
What's that?
It's a video. It's a game.
Oh, are we talking games?
What
It's
app,
an
No.
app, Mitch.
No,
Any
The
app.
most
question: what
frequent.
app do you open the most?
what app do you open the most on your phone?
And Mitch,
Oh.
if you don't want to admit what it is, that's okay. But we can see it in your face and your eyes.
Right.
Right.
Clearly,
Listeners can't see it, but we can see it.
and that's okay. It's fair.
It's all right.
Denny G, what app do you open most on your phone?
Mail.
Mail? Okay, yeah. Mine would be Amazon with YouTube coming into a close. So on YouTube, I have become addicted to Paula Deen cooking videos.
Clearly.
You are not allowed. You are not allowed to perform any
How are you-
recipes without supervision. I'm just stating that right now.
Fair enough.
Does Paula Deen not talk about too hot of oil and fish being added to it at extreme high temperatures for your safety?
Strangely enough, no. She
I
does.
bet she does. She probably says over medium high heat, not high heat.
No, she does very little over the stove. She does most of her stuff is baking.
Then why were you doing
And
it over the
he-
stove? If she
So
wasn't
does
doing it over the
hold
stove,
please?
why
Can
were
we
you?
hold a second? Can we hold a second? Does she say that you should put the oven at 500,000 degrees?
Does she say that you should use a muffin pan when you use muffin paper?
That's in my
Did she say
balls
that
here.
you
I
should
think I
spray
should
the
be on
inside before you turn the cleaner on.
I think I should be on the apology list. I
Is
don't.
Pirate Pete over there? Yeah. Why are we busting your balls? I don't know. Maybe because you have a very visible issue with your eye that you got because of hot
Yeah.
grease.
Dennis for cooking.
No, Dennis does not go on the apology list. All right, this is the Dennis George show. We should apologize to the world.
Fine,
All right, for Dennis.
fine,
That's why I tried to add for cooking to make it a little bit
fine.
more for the cooking part of it is the apology.
Coming up next, the segment you all have been waiting for. We have been banking listener email for some time now. We're gonna read some of your listener email coming up after this.
It's a whole new way to watch radio. The Dennis George Show continues after this.
Check out our YouTube channel. It's a whole new way to watch radio, where you can find each episode of our show. Just search Dennis George Show. Like us and subscribe. See you there.
Hey, this is Mitch from The Dennis George Show. If you have a question, comment, new sexual position, things I should do with Dennis's mom, or looking for a date, or even looking for a date with Dennis's mom, send us an email at podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. If we read your question or comment on the air, we'll send you a t-shirt. That's podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. And now, back to the show.
So
Oh, good.
Okay, so while Dennis is dialing in, what else can we talk about? Because we got some time.
Dennis and his
Because we got a
cooking
long time.
let's do
We don't even know if we've got mail yet, Dennis.
I know.
How are you going forward?
I pre-downloaded some.
I feel like we
Okay.
should have a song, guys. I feel like we should have a song we perform during this.
You've got
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, we got mail, guys.
Listener email, thank you all for writing. You can write in podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. Now, I should say, many of you have written in and said you've enjoyed the show, and thank you and hello and all those kinds of things. So hello back to everyone. Thank you all for your great email. We picked out a few that we thought we would share with you. A few shows ago, we discussed the groundhog, and I asked if groundhogs could be eaten. Mitch chimed in and said yes. And in fact, a number of listeners have emailed about this, including Ian, who sent in a recipe for braised groundhog.
Ooh.
I thought was pretty good. He says, quote, I have eaten groundhogs many times and as such have learned a few things along the way. Like, for instance, groundhogs have musk glands in their armpits. And he puts in all caps, you must remove these if you don't want to throw up from the stink of braised musk glands as they boil away.
Ew.
Very important tip. If you have difficulty finding or shooting the groundhog, he says you can substitute 2 rabbits or 6 pounds of chicken. The recipe, by the way, I put on our website, DennisGeorgeShow.com. The whole recipe for braised groundhog is now on our website in the on show section of our website.
I would think a rabbit would be most like it as opposed to chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken.
Right.
Gator tastes like chicken.
I disagree. I do not like the taste of chicken, so I would firmly disagree.
It's true. If you remember a show or two ago, we were talking about using rotary phones, and we speculated that maybe rotary phones weren't used anywhere in the world. That Denny G pointed out that, well, in fact, probably there's some places that still use a rotary phone. And Monica Pete wrote, Dennis, here in the small Germany town, I'm going to try to pronounce it.
Say it. Do it.
Burgerslash Gladenbach. We use phones with a rotary. Let me finish.
Debbie, how do you think that should be said?
No, Dennis, no.
Before we end up apologizing to them, let Debbie correct you and just tell you why you're wrong.
I think the pronunciation is much closer to Bergisch Gladbach.
Thank you. So in the she says Dennis, here in the small Germany town of Bergisch Gladbach, we use phones with a rotary. Better tell that Sam to complete his skills to be able to dial. Monica.
So in that discussion,
She's trying to say that I'm the one that doesn't know. Well, hold on 1 second. I grew up on a party line. I know how to use a rotary phone. Okay, girl.
Oh, that's not where that comes from.
So Sam, remember in that discussion, we were talking about being abducted and needing to use a rotary phone in the basement where you were being held.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And so my question is, is Monica offering to abduct Sam? Is threatening to abduct Sam?
Because she says, better tell that Sam to complete his skills to be able to dial. So,
I know how to use it. I know how to use a rotary phone.
Just sounds like an invitation.
This sounds like an imminent threat. I'm just saying.
It's an invitation.
I think it's an opportunity for us here. We need to get Monica's address. Monica, we will ship him to you.
I know. It's free of charge.
I always want a vacation.
We'll pay the shipping and handling.
Exactly. Debbie, this one.
I feel the love. I'm going to apologize to myself.
Many shows ago, this is like episode 10, so like in episode 1 or 2, we joke with Debbie about she's from Virginia. We joke often that she's actually from West Virginia, which she's not, but we joke with her about that. And so we went into long detail about West Virginia versus Virginia. And Mitch and I have a running thing with Debbie over the years about singing country roads.
Country roads would take me home.
Yep.
To the place. Okay.
So we would sing that a lot, that John Denver tune. So as a result, here's the email we got. Debbie, to further encourage you to accept our great state of West Virginia, I encourage you to visit our website at wvtourism.com. There you can explore our, quote, country roads, unquote, that take you home, featured road trips, scenic trains, stargazing, water sports, whitewater rafting, golf, fishing, and so much more. You could also follow our hashtag almost heaven. Love your show. Keep up the good work. Sincerely, Emily Hatfield, Deputy Tourism Commissioner.
Of course, it's a Hatfield in West Virginia.
Apologize to West Virginia.
But be careful in West Virginia of those water sports.
I was just going to say, they got water sports, Mitch. Let's go.
Sam and I both like quirked our head when you said water sports. We're like, what?
Exactly.
I actually was going to say that I had been whitewater rafting in West Virginia, but I don't believe that is a correct statement. I believe that the river I rafted was actually in Pennsylvania, not in West Virginia. But I have heard that their whitewater rafting is quite exceptional.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it made Emily's list to put it here, so
yeah.
It's pretty good.
And they do. They have a lot of water areas where they have white water, so they definitely do a lot of things.
A couple of shows ago, we talked about the proper way to greet people, and we actually even thought about, well, in some countries you really aren't supposed to handshake. In fact, Mitch pointed out that kissing is a pretty common, and that in some countries you kissed one side of the cheek or their side, sometimes more than one kiss. So this email came to Mitch. Mitch, I'm reading this verbatim. Mitch, we will deliver 3 kisses to you. We laugh at you crazy Americans from Slovenia.
Slovenia. I love Slovenia.
Apparently they want to kiss you in Slovenia.
Let's go.
Yep. So Sam's off to Germany and Mitch is off to Slovenia.
And Debbie's off to West Virginia.
Sam,
Debbie's off to Germany.
Yep.
All right.
Sam, early on in the show, we talked about his love for donuts. And
I had donuts last week.
I speculated that maybe we could start a self-help group for him and maybe a Donuts Anonymous thing. I'm not making light of people with eating disorders. I did get a couple emails about that. We're not making light of people with eating disorders. That's a serious thing. I just want to point that out. But this email says, Sam, Emily Braun here from Eating Disorders Solutions. This past week at Eating Disorders Solutions, we discovered how donuts fit into the diet and your obsession with donuts. If you read my blog before, I'm sure you know what I will say. Because it tastes good, donuts are typically a fear food for most individuals with an eating disorder. So what do we do with our fears? We face them. Ignore foods on the bad or unhealthy list only reinforces those foods that are bad. To help you keep feeling satisfied, make sure you pair your donut with a protein such as sausage and keep your plate colorful with some fresh fruits. Now, that's what I call delicious. Balanced breakfast. Ciao, Emily. Now, anytime
Oh, that's so nice. I usually just get a box full of them and then just devour them all throughout the day. But I also eat my regular meals as well. So I do a little bit of that.
So if anyone wants to read her blog about donuts, and I think it'd be pretty funny, Eating Disorder Solutions, I think it's .com. I'm not sure. Anyway, there's a whole blog in there about donuts, which I think is kind of good. So Sam, there you go. That's a little email for you.
I like it.
And who doesn't like sausage in the morning? Dennis, thank you for your list. Demonstrate you like us French. We thought you left a few absent from the list. French bread, French chop, French dip, French dressing, French mustard, and French toast. Maybe y'all remember I was talking about the French, and I was talking about I'm American and I love French stuff. So this email came in. They write
because you like French fries.
That's right. However, we would like to actually list some actual French foods.
Yeah, I was about to say those were Americanized French food.
I think that's their point. I'm being bitch slapped by the French here is what's going on.
We'll apologize to the French again.
With or without the baguette, are they bitch slapping you with?
Yeah. So here it is. Actually, she says I'm not sure. He would like to actually list that we would like to actually list some French foods that you should try, including.
Oh God, this should be good.
I can't wait for this.
You want me to take a shot at it?
No.
Wait.
Just apologize to the French right now, Sam.
I already did. I already added them already.
I read this one earlier.
I knew where we were going.
I read this earlier and immediately started laughing, going, "Oh, I can't wait to see how Dennis pronounces this."
Hey, we're gonna give it a try. Beef bourguignon.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible pronunciation. Actually, that's a really good dish.
Potatoes dauphinies.
Close.
Okay.
Close.
Dauphinaise.
Croque monsieur.
Close.
What?
Croque madame. Jambon.
It's not croque. It's actually croque.
Croque madame. Jambon bourrée.
No. Jambon bière.
Okay. Or if you must Americanize it, croissant. Yeah.
I love a good croissant.
You got the claw when you say it.
Oh my God. So I love a croque monsieur and a croque madame. Those are fantastic breakfast sandwiches. They continue, by the way, with the bitch slap. Regardless of food here are other things for our credit. French doors, French bulldog, the French cuff, the French drain, French horn, and of course, the French kiss, with our favorite, the French tickler. Salute, Emma and Gabe.
Wow. Got him.
Salut.
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 You don't pronounce it.
You don't pronounce.
They spent some time on that. I'm pretty.
That was very good.
I'm pretty impressed.
I am impressed of your pronunciation. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst thing you've done.
Yeah. So thank
His Germantown pronunciation earlier was much worse than that.
I apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, Dennis, what was that town again?
Uh,
He's not even gonna do it. He just glares at me.
No way can do it again. Of course, Debbie does our top 10 list for us every week. And so apparently some folks who know Debbie have written in. In fact, many people who know Debbie have written in. I should just point that out.
Debbie's
popular.
So we got an email for her. It says, so I'm caught up on all the YouTube episodes. I could see you all doing a top 10 list of items to apologize to Debbie for, and it should be completed by fan submissions. Just saying, Rob.
Send them in.
Yeah.
Send it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Send him in.
And then the last one we got yesterday morning, which I thought was pretty funny. In fact, I had to call Sam and say, why did Denny G get this email? Because I didn't remember this on the show. So Sam had to sort of refresh my memory. We were talking about last week's skinny dipping, and within the context of that discussion, under all the conversation, Denny G said that he has played nude volleyball in the pool. And I didn't catch any of that. And after Sam said it, I went back and listened to it yesterday afternoon because I wanted this email to make sense. Because when I got this email, I really did not understand what this invitation was. And I was frightened for Denny G. So I was like, well, all right. So here's what they wrote. Thought this was pretty good. Denny G, we heard you played nude volleyball, so we wanted to invite you to play in our Labor Day tournament, the Super Bowl of naked volleyball, with over 90 teams competing since 1971 for the trophy in each of our classes, men's or women's AA, A, and B, with multiple mixed C team levels. Teams come from all over the world. Check us out at whitethornlodge.org. Whitethorn Lodge, by the way, is a 200-acre private club that is located in Darlington, Pennsylvania. So
good. Thank you for that.
Thought that was quite interesting. I did go to the website. Of course I did, to see if there are photos. And of course there are. So if you're interested in seeing naked volleyball photos, it's a whole different sport. I just got to throw that out there. Spiking the ball takes on a whole new meaning. I'm just throwing it out there.
I also want to say that I did some math while you were on there, because you said that there's 90 plus teams. And just so people know that there's typically on a team at least 6 people. If you're playing competitively, you're going to have 7. So I did that quick math. That would be 630 naked people.
Who's officiating?
Qualify as an orgy.
Who's officiating that? And do they have to wear
Right.
clothes or is it cooling off?
We haven't even talked about officials yet.
Yeah, there's a whole nother level there that I have questions about.
I sense that we could do the show live from the naked Super Bowl volleyball tournament.
No.
I'm in the game. Let's go.
I think so. I think this could be fun.
And is the clothing optional for us?
Yeah, sure.
Waist up. Okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's apparently it's a community that operates year round. It's kind of like a
nudist colony.
Yeah, it's a club that you can go to, a private club, and they have other activities, not just volleyball, but apparently their big volleyball tournament is one of the largest in the world, and people come from all different countries. They say.
So whenever I need a request off for Labor Day weekend, and you guys follow me, and I'm on whatever map quest you follow me on, and you see that I'm in Pennsylvania, you all are going to think I'm at a nudist volleyball tournament.
Let me know if you go.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I'm going. I think it's great. Absolutely. I mean, it just gives me another excuse to look at naked people. It's fantastic.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, you get over that stuff if you go to a nudist colony. After a while, it's just naked people, and that's all it is.
Yeah, it's no big deal, right? Of
Yeah,
course.
it's no big deal. Just nudity, no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So being a volleyball player myself, though, my issue is no clothing means grass, because I'm assuming it's outdoor and not sand. I have to assume it's grass.
They have,
Therefore,
They have all different ones.
I looked. Yeah, I looked. They have
Court, sand.
They have grass. They have sand. They have hard courts. They've got a bunch of different ones. Yep.
as a volleyball player, I just have issues with that because I am a defensive player, so I usually just play in the back row, and sand on naked body, grass on naked body as I'm diving. Hard court, naked body. I personally have issues with that because I have had playing court volleyball. I have had floor burns. And I can't imagine having floor burns in places that are currently covered by cloth, not covered by cloth anymore. So yeah, that's where my problem really lies with the
That's
ball.
why you do it in the pool.
Sure. Right.
Floor burns in places you need 3 mirrors to see.
Right.
I don't even like where the sand gets whenever I have clothing on.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really why I cringe more than anything.
Thank you all so much for the email. If you want to write us, please do podcast@DennisGeorgeShow.com, and we will get to your emails. Sam, you have this week's apology list for us?
We do. We're going to apologize to Dennis's kitchen because he doesn't know how to use it correctly. We're going to apologize to Trish, Costco, and their staff because Dennis probably abused them a little bit and a little overstimulation. Mitch's mom in the bed. Dennis. Yep, that was pretty rough. And the child. Don't forget the child that we definitely have to apologize.
What about my burning eyes from that?
Hasbro, right? Exactly. Hasbro. We're going to apologize to Hasbro. Disney. We got to apologize to Disney. The Muppets. Toy Story. Oh my gosh, this keeps going. Hookers. Alaska, we're very sorry. Eskimos, we are so sorry.
It's a sad day when we actually apologize to hookers. I'm just throwing that out there.
Longer than the music.
We have to apologize to Utah again. Margo again.
Margo.
Fetish clubs. Debbie, the Bumble owner.
Yeah.
Because Mitch fell in her hole. Something about that. Dennis for cooking.
Again?
Me, yes, because we had it at the beginning. We had it in the middle and end, I think.
Right.
West Virginia, we got to apologize to West Virginia and the French.
All right. Well, if you want to be on our apology list, send us an email. Continue to watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and of course, streaming on all your favorite platforms. That's what we've got for you this time. We will catch you all next time, right, everyone?
Yeah.
Party
good to
on,
see
be
you.
safe.
Take care, everybody.
See you all.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.